I'm the school's most recognized geek. But I was embraced by the son of the richest man in the world. Even the way he looked at me was like a lost treasure. Even the most powerful president of the school personally came to my rescue. But what everyone doesn't know is, underneath those shocking scars on my body, I was hiding a secret that would turn the whole family upside down. Didn't I tell you to buy ice? How come it's at room temperature? After saying that, the leader threw the water at me. I had almost no other reaction except to yell, hiss. My back was straight and I looked like an honest man. Freak is freak. Just like a fool, he can't even speak. Forget it. It's really a bummer. Let's go, everyone. As the group of people left, I slowly squatted down, picked up the water thrown at my feet, and drank it in big gulps. I finished it in less than 10 seconds, which shows that I was really thirsty. The weather in July was very hot, and people were sweating. The huge playground was like a furnace. No one wanted to stay here at this time, but I seemed to feel no heat. I cleaned up the basketball court where everyone had finished exercising without saying a word. After cleaning up everything, I left here. These have become my daily work. My university life is different from everyone else's. I don't feel happy, nor do I come here to enjoy it. To put it nicely, I am a student of Shanghua University. To put it bluntly, I am just a toy for everyone to have fun. Anyone can bully me and anyone can order me around. All the students in this school know me, and there is no one I can offend. All the students here are either rich or noble, but I am not. Because I am an illegitimate child who cannot be on the stage, the Shin family is unwilling to admit my existence. Like a parasite, I shamelessly rely on the Shin family. Years of torture have already made me numb and obedient, and I can't learn to resist. Helping the school to pack up some equipment and doing some dirty and tiring work has become my only source of living expenses. It's okay to face all kinds of difficulties in life, but there are also a bunch of classmates on campus who always make trouble for me, which makes my life extremely rich. For a whole hot afternoon, I cleaned the entire playground and even the gymnasium, and I didn't even have a meal. This is the most normal thing for me. I held all the sports equipment and put them in the equipment room. With a bang, the door was locked. Without thinking, I knew that I was being tricked again. I didn't shout or scream, but sat quietly on the ground, with my back against a box, and my eyes were indifferent. Anyway, it wasn't the first time. I still remember that I was locked in there for 3 days last time without any food and only half a bottle of water left by my classmates. If it weren't for other classes, I probably wouldn't have been discovered. All I can do is wait for others to come and get the equipment and let me out. I don't have any friends in school, not even one, and the only person I can contact is my nominal brother. But I also know that my brother will not come to save me, and I am far from qualified for him to save me. My stomach is so hungry that it cramps. I can only change my posture and lie flat on the ground, trying to relieve it in this way. My eyes are fixed on the ceiling, and my eyes are full of mist. Sweat, I have always thought so. Although I was sweating profusely, I still wore a black long-sleeved shirt. In the eyes of the whole school, I am really a freak. I only wear long sleeves in summer and winter. This habit of dressing makes me sick often, but I never care about my body and live a bad life. I can live to this day thanks to my immune system. I fell asleep while lying down, and I didn't feel hungry. The next day, a group of freshmen came to open the door to get equipment, which woke me up. Both sides were used to it and took what they needed. I hurriedly found a faucet, kept pouring water into my body, and successfully washed my face. The dripping face added a bit of beauty to me. My mother is a great beauty, so naturally I won't be much worse. My face is like a knife, perfect and impeccable. My height of almost 1.9 meters makes my proportions look particularly perfect. The important thing is that pair of particularly beautiful eyes, set off by the tear mole at the corner of the eye, gives people a very deep and charming feeling. I should have been admired by others, but I was like a plague god in school. Everyone hated me. Even the aunt in the cafeteria shook the spoon in her hand more when she saw me. This led to me almost never having a full meal in the cafeteria. I had neither money nor good popularity. Sometimes when I was really hungry, I would eat a few bowls of free rice from the school. Because of this, I was often laughed at by everyone. But despite the hard life, my academic performance was the best in the entire major. Every subject was excellent, so excellent that it made people jealous. However, even though I was so excellent, I never received a scholarship. The dislike of the teacher and the secret manipulation of my classmates made me lose the material basis for survival one by one. When your enemy is the whole school, How can you fight against the thousands of troops alone? All I can do is endure it silently. Anyway, I have endured it for many years, and the last year is not bad. Hey, isn't this our classmate Shin? Eating the rice in the cafeteria again. I didn't raise my head. I knew it was Malachi, my blood brother. He was the only one who would call me classmate Shin. Xiaoyan, you were really rude. You didn't even raise your head when your brother was talking to you. Although the tone was very gentle, only I knew how terrible this person was. I had been dominated by Malachi for many years, so I didn't have the courage to talk back. I could only put down the spoon in my hand and slowly stood up. A slap came over. The force made my cheek almost numb, and a trace of blood slowly seeped out of the corner of my mouth, and there were bursts of roars in my ears. Xiaoyan's face is still as thick as ever, making your brother's hands red. It turns out that it's better to use tools to beat you. Hearing this, my hands rubbed my clothes nervously, because Malachi's tools for punishing people were so perverted that people couldn't compliment him. I'm sorry, I was wrong. I could only tremble. Look, isn't this enough? You can't be impolite. Don't use this attitude when you see your brother in the future. Isn't it peaceful? I am very reasonable. At this point, Malachi still looked doting and accommodating. If there was no slap, Malachi would definitely be considered a gentle and good brother. I know, I won't do it next time. Well, then you eat obediently. I'm leaving first. Malachi's various behaviors showed that he just wanted to make trouble for me, and there was nothing else. After Malachi left, I ate the meal in big mouthfuls, swallowing it one mouthful after another with a strong smell of blood. I have the habit of storing food like a squirrel. When I have something to eat, I want to put everything into my stomach to avoid starving to death in the future. After eating, I stood outside the classroom to listen to the class. This was the rule of my classmates. No one wanted to sit with me, so no matter what season it was, I stood outside the door to listen to the class. Even in the dormitory, the treatment I received was similar. My dormitory has never been a place where I can rest and relax. In the dormitory, I am the one who is excluded. I have wanted to move out more than once, but I have no money. In addition, the people in the dormitory are eager to bully me every day. How can they bear to let me leave? The bad taste of other people in the dormitory is to unite and make fun of me. In winter, they wet my quilt and drive me out to sleep in the corridor. These things happen frequently. I can't do anything. No one can help me. I can only silently endure everyone's exclusion and try to swallow all the grievances. My favorite thing in summer is to spend the night in the library. At least in this place, the evening wind is gentle and cool. In winter, my favorite thing is to run to the cafeteria to sleep. At least here the wind is not so biting, and the body will not be so cold. No matter where I am, I will clean up everything every day when I wake up, including my own traces and the garbage in the place. Maybe no one has carefully discovered that the library in summer and the cafeteria in winter are clean. These are my habits. Living under someone else's roof for many years has taught me not to bother others, or I will be kicked out. The break time at noon is my service time for the school. Usually, I don't have time to eat at this time. I only have some free time in the evening to make up for the missed classes in the afternoon. Mom, when will you come back and take me away? This is the WeChat message I send every night, but I always get a red exclamation mark. My mother left me more than 10 years ago, and I don't know where she went. When I was abandoned, I was only 8 years old. At this ignorant age, my mother sold me to the Shin family for 10 million yuan. Since then, the two have had no contact. But when I was abandoned, I didn't cry. I knew that in the eyes of my mother, I was far less important than money. But the days of sitting in the Shin family were too hard and too painful. I just wanted to escape from that place. The annual exchange conference of Shanghua University made me have no time for class. All the stage layout, venue cleaning, and equipment inspection were handled by me. Such thankless work is usually only me. But the whole school is discussing this exchange conference because the person who came to exchange this time is the legend of the whole school, Dominic, whose father is the richest man, a typical rich man, and more importantly, he is the pride of the whole school. He finished all the courses in college in just 2 years and studied abroad for 2 years, so he had a lot of experience. Everyone was eager to meet such a big guy. In the summer, Shanghua University was filled with the fragrance of flowers, plants, and trees. Cicadas kept calling. Umbrellas were held up on the hot playground, and rows of school students were wearing school uniforms, ready to welcome Dominic with the highest etiquette. Soon a Panamera stopped on the school road, and the door was slowly opened. A man about 20 years old got out of the car. He had a slender figure, soared eyebrows, star eyes, a high-nosed bridge, and even a gentle face. The equipment on his body revealed nobility. He shook hands with the principal cordially and walked into the auditorium under the leadership of the principal. Everyone in the auditorium listened attentively to Dominic's sharing. From commercial banks to finance, and from the current economic development status to future industrial development, they were all discussed and shared. His voice was clear and coherent, like a glass of iced sparkling water in the summer, or a cup of freshly brewed black tea in the afternoon with strong sunshine, refreshing. Everyone was brought into the world of finance by this voice, except me, who stood at the exit of the auditorium, leaning against the door and feeling sleepy. In order to arrange these things, I haven't slept for 2 days, and I really can't help it. Okay, as your senior, I wish you all good academic success. Today's sharing ends here. Thank you all. When waves of deafening applause rang out, I reacted and applauded. Everyone present followed Dominic out of the auditorium, and the rest of the work was mine. I was responsible for the sanitation of the entire venue and the large umbrellas that almost filled the entire school. A large umbrella weighs about 50 kilograms, and there are about 300 umbrellas in the whole school. It took me a whole day to move them out of the equipment room, and now I need to spend another day to move them all back. I endured my exhausted body and looked at those who admired Dominic from a distance, without any extra expression on my face. In my eyes, this was just a mutual compliment between rich people, a business mutual compliment, and it was extremely hypocritical. Dominic was smiling throughout the whole process and answered everyone's questions seriously. Suddenly, he saw me through the people who admired him. His face instantly became horrified. His eyes were full of disbelief, and his lips began to tremble. He ran out of the crowd with long legs and hugged me tightly. "Afing, you are back. I miss you so much, really miss you." The tone was very excited, and there was a little crying. This hug was so tight that I wanted to blend into my blood. I used all my strength to successfully push Dominic out. "You recognized the wrong person. I am not the person you said." I gasped for breath and just hugged for a while, almost suffocated me to death. Dominic just reacted at this time, staring at me blankly. My words, "I recognized the wrong person," made his heart cold. It turns out that there are really people in the world who look so similar. The only difference between the two people is a pair of eyes and a mole at the corner of the eye. Elias' eyes are passionate, unlike the person in front of him who is so devoted. This is Dominic's direct impression of me. "I'm sorry. I recognized the wrong person." Although he was apologizing, his eyes were still staring at me, as if he was looking through me at another person, and such eyes made me very uncomfortable. I didn't want to pay attention to Dominic, and turned around and wanted to leave. "Wait, what's your name?" Lu Jinan grabbed my hand tightly. His eyes were very anxious, afraid that the other party would leave. "Asher. Is it the yen in Heian-Hecking?" Hearing this, I was also stunned. This is the first time someone has put such a high hat on my name. "No, it's the hate of hate. Let go, I still have things to do." This name was given to me by my mother. From the name, you can know how unpleasant I am. I turned around and quietly put away the big umbrella on the playground. Everyone looked at me with hatred. Why could I easily get the attention of Senior Lu? "Hey, you freak! Who asked you to hug Senior Lu? Why don't you take a piss to see what you look like? You are worthy." A group of people surrounded me, and their tone was extremely arrogant. I have said it many times, I don't know him, and I didn't take the initiative to hug him. He recognized the wrong person. I lay on the ground, covering my stomach that had just been beaten by this group of people with one hand, and explained. But everyone just didn't listen to my explanation and had to fight. Everyone kicked me one by one, leaving me with no power to fight back. I could only protect my head tightly with my hands and endure everyone's punches and kicks. "Wait!" A loud voice sounded from the back of the crowd. The person who came was Malachi. "Hello, President." Everyone immediately restrained their actions and became respectful. After all, the status of the Shin family in the capital is not low. "Please give me some face. My brother should be punished by me personally." "I won't bother you." That gentle look made everyone reluctant to refuse and nodded. Only I knew what I was going to face, and instinctively curled up. "Asher, come home with me tonight." After saying that, he squatted down and said another sentence in a voice that only two people could hear. "If you don't come back, you know the consequences. I'll wait for you at home, my dear brother." He patted my face. "Nothing. Everyone go away. Don't delay others' work," Malachi said, and everyone went away. After all, the student union is still very authoritative, not to mention that he is the president. Shen's family is very close to Shanghua University, and it only takes about 10 minutes to drive away, but I dawdled on the road for an hour. I really don't want to go home, back to that place where there are demons. Standing at the door, my hands are almost sweaty. Asher, the young master is waiting for you in your room. The housekeeper looked at me standing at the door expressionlessly. In the Shin family, no one would call me young master, and my room, as the housekeeper said, was just an underground garage. Seeing that I didn't move, he said another sentence. You should know that young master doesn't like to be late. I pushed the door open resignedly and walked towards the underground garage. I didn't know what was waiting for me, a barbed whip, an electric iron, one thick needle after another, or electric shocks again and again. In the past 12 years, I have been tortured in disguise and suffered all kinds of beatings. I am not invulnerable and I will feel pain, but who can I tell about the pain? I will also be afraid to walk into this place, dark and without any light. As soon as I saw Malachi, I instinctively kept smiling. I had long forgotten the meaning of smiling and could only smile mechanically like a puppet. Dear brother, you are late again. You made me wait for so long. I am very unhappy, very unhappy. Malachi said this with a smile, but it made me feel cold and eerie. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. This is the most useless thing in the world. Take off your clothes and turn around. I didn't say anything else. Since it had come to this, how could I not get beaten? I could only take off my clothes. There was no good flesh on the exposed upper body. Shockingly, there were large pieces of burns, almost covering all the places below the neck. These were burned by Malachi with an electric iron. Under these burns, there were whip wounds one after another. It was like this every time, whipping first, then burning layer by layer. I can't remember how many layers it was, or dozens of layers. As soon as I stood firm, a whip came at me. The huge pain made me stagger and my brows twisted into a ball. You are not behaving well. Didn't I tell you to stand up straight and steady? Aren't you breaking my rules? I was thinking 15 lashes would be enough, but now I think 20 lashes will do. I'll teach you more about my rules. The huge garage was filled with the sound of the whip hitting people. Another rule of Malachi was that I was not allowed to scream, so I didn't dare to make any sound the whole time, for fear of making Malachi unhappy. Due to the pain, my face was pale, and beads of sweat as big as beans appeared densely. My hands were clenched tightly, and I couldn't feel the pain even when my nails were embedded in my skin. Asher, remember, don't covet things that don't belong to you, otherwise it will be more than just this next time. Malachi still whipped and left the underground garage in a chic manner. I fell on the bed on the ground as if I had lost my strength. In fact, this can't be called a bed. It's just a blanket spread on the ground. My body trembled violently, and I curled up unconsciously. Slowly, the long night became an unbearable torture, but I never cried out in pain. I don't know how long I struggled. After the severe pain subsided, I felt like I was pulled out of the water. I was exhausted and didn't even have the strength to move my fingers. The next day, I skipped a day of class and lay down all day. It was so painful. Every time I moved, I felt like my bones were crushed. The phone rang quickly. It was so close, but I had to work hard to get it. Hey, dear brother, it's not good to skip class. Come back to class if you have nothing to do. You didn't have any problems with so many beatings before, but why do you become so hypocritical now? I know, I'll go back in the evening. That's good. After hanging up the phone, I forced myself to get up. We grew up together and I know Malachi too well. Malachi was in poor health when he was a child, and he was often hospitalized. His life was relatively monotonous. Later, after he recovered, his personality became more perverse, and he especially liked stimulation, especially when it came to punishing me. I finally made it to the school gate and saw Dominic outside. I wanted to ignore him and walk into the campus, but I didn't expect Dominic to speak first. Asher, the illegitimate child of the Shin family. No wonder you look so much like my lover. The whole circle knows that Father Shin and Father Jiang are brothers, but one takes the mother's surname and the other takes the father's surname. Malachi and Elias are cousins, so they were angry and punished me when they knew Dominic hugged me. In Malachi's eyes, I came to snatch Dominic, so he regarded me as Elias's rival in love. What does that have to do with me? I always felt that except for the blood of the Shin family flowing in my body, I had nothing to do with the Shin family. You have a bad temper. The report I investigated shows that you are a person who can sell your body for money, and even sell your soul. Now I give you such an opportunity. Will you seize it? I didn't intend to defend myself. My reputation had long been ruined by my own brother. If you want me to accompany you, give up this idea. I won't agree. After asking this question, Dominic regretted it a little. In his eyes, his lover was gentle and clean like an angel, and how could she be replaced by the messy person in front of him? But he just wanted to look at such a face all the time, a face that could ease his longing. As long as Dominic wanted it, he would definitely get it. Dominic was not annoyed when he heard my answer. He had plenty of ways to get me. He smiled very confidently. Is that so? I am not here to ask for your opinion. I have plenty of ways to make you agree. We just stared at each other. Neither of us gave in. But it is too easy for a powerful person like Dominic to mess with me. It can be said that the outcome of this game was doomed from the beginning. As soon as I entered the campus, I was blocked by a group of people. Clean up the place where we just played basketball. We have been away all day. It is full of garbage and dirty. The tone was like calling a servant. Got it. I will clean it up. Although the wound hurt and I was very hungry, I didn't dare to refuse their request. I could only swallow my anger and clean up silently. After I finished cleaning up, it was already early in the morning. I didn't even have a place to eat or sleep. Looking at the empty playground, there was only a bright moon to accompany me. My eyes were full of confusion and I didn't know what to do. I picked up the flowers that fell under the tree and ate them. I didn't care whether they were delicious or not, as long as I could fill my stomach. I have the experience of picking up garbage to eat, let alone just picking up a petal. I never knew what the meaning of my life was. I was so miserable, but I still wanted to live. I curled up in the audience chair of the gymnasium. This posture made the whip wound on my back feel better and my waist didn't hurt so much. After sleeping for a night, I was like nothing happened and started my busy days. At the school celebration, I was asked to play Memories of Don Juan, which is one of the 10 most difficult piano pieces in the world. I have never systematically learned piano knowledge, so how could I play this piece? Besides, I hate playing the piano. My fingers are connected to my heart. I really can't stand my fingertips jumping on the blades. Every piano performance in school is a torture planned by everyone. They put blades in the cracks of the piano. I don't know how many times they have done it. So every time I see the piano, my fingers start to hurt instinctively. I don't know how to play this song. No, you can learn it now. With your talent, you should be able to learn it quickly. And you don't want to disappoint everyone, my dear brother. Besides, don't you want to be Dominic's lover? My brother Yufeng is a piano genius. If you don't learn, how can you catch up with him? There was sarcasm in his tone. It was obvious that this celebration was caused by Malachi again. I've said it many times, I don't know Dominic, and I don't want to be his lover, Malachi. Why do you keep on harping on this matter? I just want to harp on this matter. What can you do to me? When I first met you, I felt that you and brother Yufeng were just cut from the same mold. Do you think I would believe that there is nothing between you and Dominic? Malachi has felt countless times that Elias and I look too much alike. From childhood to now, if I hadn't been able to transplant bone marrow to him, Malachi would have gone for a paternity test long ago. I've also found the video for you. With your memory, you can play it 80% like it after watching it a few times. I'm looking forward to your performance. After taking the video from Malachi, I could only learn. Sitting on the piano table, the light reflected from the blades on the piano pieces almost blinded my eyes. I didn't need to see to know that there were a lot of blades hidden inside. Everyone's revenge on me is that the more miserable I am, the happier they are. I nervously put my hand on the piano key I touched last time and glanced at Malachi. If you want revenge, then be revenged. When playing this piece, I used a strong explosive force to make the sound very bright, giving people a hearty feeling. The blood on my fingers kept seeping into the piano, and soon all the white piano keys turned red. When the last note sounded, none of my fingers were good, and all were dripping with blood. Seeing this, Malachi took the lead in applauding, and this was the effect he wanted. In Malachi's eyes, I was just bought by his father for 10 million to treat his illness and for his own entertainment, that's all. Malachi can torture me at will and don't treat me as a human being. In his eyes, my life is worthless. My mother is just a pianist who designed to climb into Shun's father's bed. She is well known in the piano world, but she doesn't make money, so she uses me to exchange for money. The blood on my fingers dripped on the stage, like peonies one after another. At this moment, I was numb and confused. I didn't know what to do next. I felt helpless and frustrated. Suddenly, a person appeared in the center of the stage, grabbed me and ran out. You are such a fool. You are standing there motionless even though you are injured. Are you going to let everyone admire you? Dominic, let me go. What do you want to do? I was pulled to the front of the car and refused to get in no matter what. I don't want to do anything. I just can't stand you mistreating your hands like this. The hands of a pianist are precious. I am not a pianist. I am different from the one in your heart. When Dominic said this, he seemed not to hear it. He rushed to get the first aid kit from the car, applied medicine to me like a rare treasure, and blew it gently a few times. This action made me feel itchy. This was the first time someone applied medicine to me so gently. But I understood that Dominic regarded me as his lover and did not treat me sincerely. After Dominic finished bandaging, I looked at him coldly. Although he was smiling, his eyes were terribly cold. Dominic, you see clearly, I am not your lover, and I can't be his. Don't treat me the way you treat him. I pulled back my bandaged hand. I have to admit that I actually hope that Dominic's action is only for me, not through me, for another person. If I didn't have this little hope, I would never let Dominic bandage my hand. Dominic sneered, probably laughing at being himself. He really thought I was Elias. It has been 3 years. He hasn't seen me for 3 years. His longing has swallowed up all his reason, making him want the person in front of him uncontrollably, even if it is just a person with a similar face. Yes, you are not him. He is better than you, works harder than you, and his life experience is clean. You have no way to compare with him. You don't even have the qualifications to be his substitute. The voice became weaker and weaker. These words were just Dominic deceiving himself. As long as he could see Elias's face, even if it was just a replica, Dominic wanted it. Even so, I still want to get your face, you can't escape. Dominic's bodyguard, Lu Jing, saw my face clearly through the glass. I thought the face in the photo was very similar, but I didn't expect it to be even more similar in person. No wonder the young master is so crazy. Whatever you want. I seem to be a commodity anyway. Do whatever you want. I was full of powerlessness. Since I couldn't resist, I would just let it go. Dominic didn't expect that my attitude would change so quickly. On the weekend, Dominic showed up at Shin's house with an attractive contract. Uncle Shin, I think you should be interested in this contract for a commercial property in the city center. Father Shin's eyes changed immediately when he looked at Dominic. He didn't believe that Dominic would give up such a good thing. Jinan, whatever you want, as long as Uncle has it, I can give it to you. Uncle, you are too kind. What I want is also very simple. Just say a word from you. Oh, what is that thing? Father Shin didn't believe that what Dominic wanted was simple. After all, Dominic in the business world is like a cunning fox. Although he is younger, his methods are not much worse than those of Shin's father. Dominic crossed his legs, changed his posture, and leaned lazily on the sofa, as if this was his home. I want Asher. You won't lose money by exchanging this contract for him, Uncle. Shin's father was really stunned. He didn't expect that his useless son would bring him such a big business one day. Are you kidding? No, I only want him. The two people treated me like a commodity and traded at a clear price. They didn't expect that I was a person, a thinking person, and I could have my own wishes. I believe he is willing to go with you. Shun's father smiled so hard that his mouth almost opened. Butler, go and call the young master over. It just so happens that he is back today. The reason why I went home was because my waist injury hurt so much. I didn't have extra money to buy medicine, so I had to come back to find medicine. I stood in front of the two people with a pale face. In fact, I had already guessed that it was Dominic who came. Because this was the first time I was called young master by the housekeeper in my 12 years at the Shin family, and the first time I received the housekeeper's respectful attitude. Dominic, what if I don't want to go with you? Hearing this answer, Shun's father's face was obviously angry, but it was difficult to get angry because Dominic was here. If it were any other time, I would definitely be beaten half to death. But now I didn't ask you if you are willing. You have no choice but to go with me. Your dear father sold you to me for a contract. You are not qualified to refuse me now. The tone was overbearing and rampant, and there was no room for doubt. Let's go. You shouldn't need to bring anything. Just follow me obediently. That's what he said, but Dominic held my hand the whole time and walked towards the car, not giving me any say at all. The two sat in the back of the car, and Lu Jing could see me clearly through the rearview mirror of the car. Compared with Master Jiang, I am thinner and taller. My pale face gives me a feeling of weakness, and I feel like I want to protect him. Do what I tell you to do and stay by my side. I will give you some money and let you go. Dominic also saw my face full of dissatisfaction through the rearview mirror of the car, and there was a little disgust in my expression. Dominic has been admired since he was a child, and this is the first time he has been disliked. I didn't say anything. At this time, I was like a lifeless puppet, and I couldn't get rid of the puppeteer no matter how hard I tried. You don't have to go to school in the future. I applied for graduation in advance. You can stay at home wholeheartedly and do whatever you want. I didn't get a response from any of my words. There was not even a single other expression. However, Dominic was not annoyed. If the pet is not obedient, he can just train it more. He has patience and ability. Ah shao. Take him to the prepared room. I have to admit that Dominic is really rich. The whole villa is like a magnificent castle, full of human luxury, giving people the illusion of being in a palace. Even the furniture is exquisite, completely different from the Shin family. The room Dominic prepared for me is also excellent, mainly light green, simple and elegant. Since I was sold to the Shin family, I have never had my own bed and room. I really miss the feeling of sleeping on the bed. There is only a piano in the room, which looks very valuable. If I had such a piano in the past, I would be so happy, but people's hearts will change. I gently stroked the soft bed with my hand, like a cloud, giving me a sense of tactile pleasure. Slowly lying on it, the pain in my waist was relieved. That night, I slept very comfortably, really very comfortably. With air conditioning, the burns on my body will no longer feel itchy. The next morning, Simon knocked on my door. I opened my eyes immediately after just one knock. My sleep quality is not high. I am often in a state of high mental tension and easily disturbed by others. Master Shin, good morning. Our master is waiting for you downstairs for dinner. Simon was still very respectful to me and very polite. I know. Thank you for your hard work. I will go down in a while. My words directly left a good impression on Simon. He is a peaceful person with no airs at all. It is completely different from Master Zhang's arrogant and domineering personality. The entire Zichelania restaurant is magnificent. The crystal chandeliers are high-end and there are beautiful flowers on the table. Dominic sat in the main seat, dealing with work matters, and it seemed that he was really waiting for me. Come in, come and eat. Don't be in a daze there. I walked in obediently, looking at the various breakfasts on the table, both Chinese and Western, and my heart was still touched. I am used to watching others eat so many delicacies, and I am also used to eating other people's leftovers. I am at a loss with the spoon in my hand, not knowing how to start. With me, you can go anywhere, but there are some things you'd better not touch. You can go out twice a week and buy whatever you want. I will let Xiao follow you. In the rest of the time, you need to learn piano, painting, and various languages. My phone is very good. When mentioning Elias, Dominic's expression changed subtly, and his face was full of pride. You want me to imitate him. So what? I have to be like him from the inside out so that I can look comfortable. I couldn't help laughing, but it was just a sneer. At this moment, I was like a canary in captivity. How pathetic. One more thing, I won't touch you, don't worry. Your job is to play him well. Dominic thought that everything he said was very tempting, and it was also labeled as good for me. Okay, I know I will play him well. Can take as long as you want. Dominic was very satisfied with my change of attitude. He likes to have everything in his hands and doesn't like things to be out of his hands. The successful completion of this transaction made Dominic feel very accomplished. There was nothing to do for a whole day, which made me feel very empty, and my eyes were fixed on the piano in front of me. Before my mother abandoned me, I loved piano. I was a rare genius with sharp hearing, good sense of rhythm, and super memory. I was born for piano. But my mother didn't like to listen to me playing the piano. She beat me every time she heard me play the piano. I don't understand why my mother didn't let me learn even though I was very talented. For various reasons, I didn't have many opportunities to play the piano. Once, I found a relatively old piano in Shin's house and played it casually. That was the only time when I felt relaxed in Shin's house. Later, when Malachi found out, he often put blades in the piano. The pain made me afraid of the piano and even hated it. I put my hands on the piano keys and felt a slight numbness in my fingertips. My hands were shaking badly, but I still wanted to play Castle in the Sky. This is Asher's favorite song, but I haven't played it for a long time. As the notes jumped one by one, Simon, who was standing at the door, was stunned, because he was brought into an extremely quiet and beautiful paradise. where there was no greed or tragedy, only beauty. But if you listen carefully, you will find that there is a hint of sadness in this song, which makes people a little elusive. My piano music has a soul. I can easily empathize with everything around me. Everything in the world can become my music. After the song, Simon couldn't come back to his senses for a long time. He was completely impressed by my talent. Simon only realized at this time that my talent was much higher than that of Master Zhang. Since bringing me back, Dominic rarely sees me. We are like roommates with different schedules and jobs. We only get together when we eat, and we don't interfere with each other at other times. The only thing is that I will find Simon every night to learn about my activities of the day. Master Shin is really quiet. He spends almost all his time in a daze except for playing the piano. He doesn't do anything else. I know. Just keep an eye on him. Simon sometimes really admires me. I look like I have no desires. Except for playing the piano, I like to curl myself up by the window, looking at the flowers, plants and trees outside, motionless, letting the sunlight outside the window shine on me. The whole person is like a painting for people to appreciate. The number of times I speak in a day is almost zero. If it goes on like this, Simon feels that he can't stand it. He's too depressed. I am really good. No matter what Dominic prepares for food, I will eat it even if I am allergic. I understand that these foods are Elias's favorites. I just need to live according to Elias's habits. Besides, I don't have any favorite food. I have never understood my own taste. As long as it is edible and can survive, I will eat it. Simon looked at me and had many rashes on my body because of eating walnuts, and his heart was a little moved. Simon couldn't understand why he didn't refuse when he clearly couldn't eat it. He had to make himself so embarrassed. Master Shin, are you feeling uncomfortable? I'll call a doctor for you. No need, just give me some medicine. It's going to rain. Can you bring me some painkillers on the way? I grabbed my hand, especially hard, as if I wanted to scratch off the skin. Okay, but why does Master Shin need painkillers? Can I know the reason? No matter how Simon thought about it, he couldn't figure out what the rain had to do with painkillers. When I heard this question, my eyes obviously dodged. Nothing, just an old injury. Simon clearly felt that I was unwilling to say it and had a sense of resistance. Okay, Master Shin, I'll get it for you in a while, you can rest first. Simon felt that it was necessary to report this matter to his master. Master Shin said he wants painkillers. How should we deal with this matter? Painkillers? What's wrong with him? Dominic can't find out much about me, and he doesn't know me very well. Forget it, it's not a big deal. If he wants it, just give it to him. With Dominic, as long as I can behave myself and don't do anything beyond my rights, he can tolerate it. Okay, Master. Simon quickly handed the medicine to me, and when he saw me pouring a handful of painkillers, he quickly stopped me. Master Shin, you can only take 2 tablets at a time, no more. Simon thought I was going to commit suicide. If that was the case, the master would never let him go. It's okay, I usually take it like this, and I have a strong resistance to this medicine. After all, I have been taking it since I was a child. Are you sure it's okay? For your own safety, you can only take 2. Forget it, 2 is 2. Living under someone else's roof is not a right to speak. I just need to be obedient. Simon also took the remaining medicine away, fearing that I would not obey and take a lot more. I looked at the raindrops outside, lay on the bed, and began to curl up. Pain, the kind of pain that goes deep into the bone marrow. After returning to the Shin family at the age of 8, I have extracted bone marrow for Malachi many times. At that time, as a donor, I could not be anesthetized. The pain was unbearable even for adults, let alone a child like me. So every time I struggled hard, I thought I could get my father's care, but I got scolded again and again. In order to prevent my father from hating me, I would bite myself every time to prevent myself from crying out. I can't remember how many times I have been extracted. Because I didn't take good care of myself, I didn't recover well. Once, when I climbed up a tree, I was pushed down by Malachi, and my waist just hit a stone. From that time on, I had this problem. It hurts twice as much on rainy days and in winter, and even painkillers gradually lose their effect. I lay on the quilt, sweat dripping down desperately, but I just didn't cry out. In my world, I have no right to cry out in pain. I made myself like steel, hoping to be invulnerable. Not crying out in pain does not mean that I don't feel it, but crying out in pain is useless. In the Shin family, Malachi has everything that makes me jealous. He can eat well, wear warm clothes, and has a pair of parents who love him. He has everything he wants, which is completely different from me. Malachi's birthday can be celebrated by everyone. He can receive many valuable gifts and have a particularly large cake. But I don't even know when I was born, and I don't know what birthdays are for. I am hated to the extreme by others, but I can't figure out what I did wrong. The pain gradually devoured my reason. The more it hurt, the more I thought, and the more I thought, the more it hurt. Every time it was a vicious cycle. When the heavy rain stopped, it was already late at night. Because I was thirsty, I groped to the living room to drink water, and I didn't pay attention and knocked over a row of neatly arranged photos. The sound of broken glass instantly attracted Dominic. Seeing Elias's photos all falling to the ground, Dominic's eyes widened and he stared at the culprit. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that." Although his voice was weak, it was very sincere. "I really didn't mean to do that either. I didn't mean to do that. I arranged it so well. If you didn't mean to do that, you would have knocked them all down. What on earth do you want to do?" Dominic almost yelled. His eyes were also scarlet. There was silence in the villa. Everyone lowered their heads, and no one dared to speak. In order to calm himself down, Dominic squatted down and picked up the photo with Elias like a treasure. Knowing that I was in the wrong, I also squatted down silently and wanted to help pick up the photo. "No need for you. Get out of here." Dominic pushed me hard and pushed me directly into the pile of glass. The bright red blood instantly dripped onto Elias's photo. I didn't care about the pain in my arm and quickly wiped the blood on the photo, but the more I wiped, the dirtier it became. "Asher, you did it on purpose. Go. Leave here before I want to hit you." Dominic looked at the blood-stained photo with heartache, feeling extremely sad. "I'm sorry." After saying this, I held my bleeding arm and walked into my room. Simon followed me silently, looking at my hand that was still full of glass fragments, not knowing what to do. Compared with Simon's anxiety and helplessness, I seemed very calm, as if it was not me who was injured. I walked into the bathroom very quietly, and out of concern, Simon followed me into the room. Looking at my two deep-set eyes, they were empty and lifeless, revealing a numbness and despair. I turned on the faucet and pulled the glass off my arm, and blood instantly dripped onto the wash basin. Simon stepped forward and held my hand. He didn't expect someone to be so cruel to him. He dared to treat his wounds so desperately without anesthesia or examination. "It's okay. Let go. I'll handle it myself." My forehead was covered with sweat, but I didn't even groan. In addition to the glass, there was a large burn on my hand, and the flesh was exposed. "No, you will lose too much blood like this. I'll ask the young master to call a doctor for you. You wait." Simon would go even if he would be scolded. He didn't know what the boy in front of him had experienced, what kind of suffering he had suffered at such a young age. But since he was caught, Simon would not watch him die without helping. Young Master Shen. Don't mention him to me." Dominic, who was angry, didn't want to hear anything about me. Lu Jing pulled Simon, who was about to say something, and shook his head. But this time Simon was very stubborn. He had to say it. "Young master, call a doctor for him first, and I will accept whatever you want to punish me later." Simon knew how bad his young master's temper was. The two grew up together. How could Simon not understand Dominic? Lu Jing, call the boy surnamed Lin over to Asher. As for Simon, fast for 2 days. Simon breathed a sigh of relief. Fasting for 2 days could save a life, so he was willing to do it.